Hello, everyone. 12 Bravo here. I wanted to go over my 5 wealth building rules. So, this is assuming that your debt is paid off. I'm not going to talk too much about paying off your debt, but your high interest debt, like credit cards and school loans, you want to attack those pretty ferociously and get those paid off as soon as possible. That way, you can free up your income to do what you want to do in life, right? Okay, my number one rule for wealth building is having a budget. Now, this is like one of the most important rules that you can have, and it's one of the most important tools in your arsenal to building wealth. You want to have a budget set up, whether it's in Excel, whether it's written down, whether it's both, an app, all three, whatever it is that you want to do. And you want to check it at least once a week. You want to check your budget and check yourself. Like sometimes when I overspend in my eating category and I have different buckets set up where I've assigned different dollar amounts to each bucket. Like I'll say, okay, for this month, I don't want to spend more than $500 in groceries and I don't want to spend more than $200 in eating out. So I can see like one week, if I spend $100 in eating out, I'm checking my budget like, oh crap, I spent half of my eating out budget in 1 week already. Next week, I might have to just cook a lot more. Okay. So that's something that a budget is a living document. It's adjustable. It's, you can change it and you can work it until you finally come to a point where you're like, hey, this is my budget now. This is how it's set, and this is how I can live comfortably, do the things that I want to do in life, and these are the numbers that I go by every month. And sometimes things change, emergencies come up, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for the most part, you should be able to drill down a budget over, say, like a period of a year by looking at your yearly expenses and being able to say, okay, well, this is what I realistically want to assign to this bucket. I can realistically stick to $250 a month eating out, for example. That's what I can stick to, and $400 a month in groceries, and $200 a month in gas, or whatever it is. So build a budget. That's so important. You have to have it. I know a lot of people want to run from it. They don't want to see it. But what's more comfortable, knowing where your money's going or checking your bank account and being like, holy crap, I only got $125 left for the rest of the month, and it's only week 1. So yeah, budget. Number 2, pay yourself first. When you get paid, you want to put 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever it is that you can afford. You want to put that amount away and pay yourself first. And it's a twofold thing. One, you're building your wealth by making your savings larger. You're increasing your net worth, and you're limiting the amount that you have to spend. So you're also curbing your spending by taking away the money that's available and putting it into your savings account. Okay. And whether you want to do like a money market or whatever, like I think the average savings account right now, like a good savings account is like 4 to 5% interest. So, just let it sit in there, whether you want to use it as an emergency fund or if you're saving for a large purpose, whatever that may be. A good rule of thumb, you want to have like 3 months of living expenses saved up. And once you get that, then you can start doing other things with your money, right? And that leads right into number 3, investing. So you want to invest in the 401k, you want your employer match, you want to max out that employer match. A lot of employers are matching 3 to 5%, some of them a lot more, just depends on the employer. But you want to match that, and then even think about opening up a Roth IRA and start maxing that out every year. I think the max now is like $6,500 a year. So if you can afford to do all that, you're in great shape. And if you think about it, even at step 2 where you're paying yourself first, if you can afford to pay 5% of your income, let's start low, 5% of your income, and you can afford to put that in your bank account, you're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. you're saving money and you are living below your means, which is a good thing. You need to live below your means. Now, I know all of us are like YOLO or whatever, this and that. But the fact of the matter is, as I said in the previous video, a lot of us are going to live past 60 years old. So you don't want to end up 60 years old with no money in savings or no money to, retire. So investing is number 3, very important. We'll go into number 4, and these last two are expenses. So usually these last two are the largest expenses that people have. And the first one is rent and mortgage. You want to spend no more than 25% of your income on your rent or mortgage. Okay, it's very important. And I know that all of us want to live in a palace and things of that nature, but the fact of the matter is that not all of us can afford to. And you want to set your afford limit. You want to set that bar low because, again, you want to live below your means. Okay, so you can take that money and invest it for later and for large purchases and things of that nature. You want to have money equal freedom. You want your money to make you free, not chain you down to credit card debt or car loans or anything like that. So, and number 5, speaking of car loans, you should follow the 20-4-10 rule. And what that is 20% down, financed over 4 years, no more than 10% of your income. Okay, this is very important because you don't want to be chained to a car debt. You don't want to be paying, I think the average, I read in the news, the average car payment now is like between $600 and $700. I think it was like $679 if I'm remembering it correctly. But that's a lot of money. My first mortgage was between $800 and $900 a month. So when I think about a $700 car payment, not that I've never paid that much, because I have, when I was stupid. And I've lost a lot of money over cars and car payments over the years, and I just really was done with my money. I've learned the hard way, trust me. You don't want to learn the hard way and lose 10, 15 years of investing and saving opportunity, and then you're just going to have to work that much longer or harder. So take it from me, these 5 rules: budget, pay yourself, invest, no more than 25% in rent or mortgage, and follow the 20-4-10 rule on car loans. That's it. That's my advice for wealth building. Obviously, there's a lot more things you can drill down into, a lot more detail you can get into once you get to a certain point. Maybe hiring a financial advisor is the right way to go for you. You just have to feel things out and do what's right for you, because all of us want different things. All of us are wanting, the destination in life is constantly evolving. Okay. So you shouldn't really be in a hurry to get there, because you don't know if 5 years down the road, your destination or what you want may change. But one thing is a constant: having enough money equals freedom. Freedom to change that destination if it does evolve for you, right, in life. So maybe you want to live in Big Sur right now, and 5 years down the road, you're like, no way, I don't want to move to California, I want to move to Texas. So like, hey, adjust fire, right? You adjust your budget, and you do what you need to do to move wherever you want to move and live wherever you want to live, work however you want to work. And, later in life, when you're in your 60s and 70s, you have a nice little nest egg to live comfortably and not have to work, 40, 50 hours a week when you're that old and aching and hurting and everything else, knees buckling, things of that nature. So, yeah, that's my advice. You guys stay safe out there and take care, all right?